Let's discuss a little bit of the typography and the typography used. The typeface used for this is Trajan, and it stems from a Roman. It comes from the Roman tablatures, I believe, and it doesn't have a lowercase. This typeface doesn't have a lowercase, but it does have a small caps. But if you can look at the actual letter form and the style of it, it's really beautiful, very eloquently put. If you look at the way that the Q itself, the serif of the Q that kind of rips across and kind of cuts down, it's very much reminiscent of Roman Marvel scriptures and all that kind of great stuff. But the thing I think that really works and I think that I really appreciate about this usage of this typeface in this actual title sequence is its eloquence. You have, strong, bold main points, but then you have these beautiful cuts of the serifs kind of like coming off of there, and it has this sense of seriousness, severity, but it also has a deep eloquence. One of the things to also notice is on the right, we have the bold weight of this typeface, which is, from my observation, is what the actors' names are represented under with the bold, and then you have the regular on the left-hand side, which is representing their role in the show itself. So using those two different typefaces and together and kind of weighing them together. This is, we're going to go quite far into typography in later lessons, but I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of the typeface that I found from here and, understanding those things. So it's Trajan. The next thing we're going to dig into is composition and all that kind of good stuff. So these are the grids that I usually use personally for my own personal work. There's many others, but the standard is usually, rule of thirds, 3 by 3. On the grid and the composition for the left is a 2 by 2. Oftentimes when you're shooting or using a camera, you're going to have your crosshairs right in the center just to show you where everything is sitting in the center. If you look, it's kind of funny, and this image comes from the moving sequence, so it's not going to be absolutely perfect. And oftentimes when you do put a grid on certain things, you're going to find that things that you thought were perfectly centered are in fact quite a little off or slightly off. But you see the trunk of the tree itself is off to the left, and then the typography itself is off to the right. It doesn't mean it's flawed, doesn't mean it's anything bad. It's just, it is what it is. So, but it's good to see this, it's good to see how things are stacking up compositionally. And again, you'll see imperfections in even master film makers and cinematographers as well. Whether you consider them a mistake or it's just an imperfection of human creation, it's up to you. I consider it to be either or both. It just depends on the scenario.